Hey, this is Jeff Bostic, and I am putting together a short video for the staff to get a little bit of exposure looking at and using Pear Deck. First off, some people don't even know what it is. Pear Deck is a Google Slides add-on, and the cool thing about it is that it makes your slide presentations interactive. It makes like your students who are sitting there watching a PowerPoint be able to interact to prompts that you build into your course. The good thing about it is that if you have existing like presentations, whether it be PowerPoints or Google Slides, you do not have to redo your presentation. The Pear Deck add-on has a way to just add to existing slides. You get to determine what type of interaction you want your students to have, and it'll probably depend on what slide that you're showing or what talent or skill you're asking them to demonstrate. I have a list of them here: text response, multiple choice response, numeric response. We'll go through each of these so you get just a quick idea of how to do it. And then hopefully at the end we'll go through just like a sample demo, and you'll be able to see what the students are seeing on their side and what you're seeing on your side. Because the other cool thing about Pear Deck is that all these interactive features that students will be responding to throughout the course of your lesson, only you get to see their responses. They don't get to see one another's responses unless you choose to show them. You can even, like in class, I'll run actually a PC with Zoom on it, and on a separate tablet, I'll run what's called the teacher dashboard, which allows me to completely control the slideshow and what's going on. So, this add-on, it is only visible and usable on Google Slides presentations. Okay, so right here, I have created just a Google slide presentation. You see that this button here, add-ons, is present. If you have, for instance, you can tell when you open up, I go to like slides.google.com, and I pull out for instance, a lecture here for units and dimensions. It'll prompt me, hey, this is a PowerPoint. Do you want to edit in Google Slides? So it'll open up this window for you here, but notice that the add-on feature is still not there. The reason is that this slide is still in a Microsoft PowerPoint format, even though it's being viewed through Google Slides. So to get around that, you just come over here to File and say Save as Google Slides, and it'll open up a tab with a whole new window that's in the appropriate format, and you can see that the add-ons button is now here. Right? It took a second. So that's one way to get your existing presentations that are in a Microsoft format into a Google format so that they can interact and use this add-on. So to get to the interface for Pear Deck, it should already be installed on your computers. But if you're wanting to get a home computer on Pear Deck, you would click Add-ons and then Get Add-ons, and then do a search for Pear Deck in the search browser here, right? And boom, you'd hit install there. But since it's on most of our work computers, to open up Pear Deck, click Add-ons, mouse over Pear Deck for Google Slides add-on, and then simply click Open Pear Deck add-on. Okay, and you'll see a window appears over here on the right. The three parts of the interface that we're going to focus on are Start Lesson, Template Library, and Ask Students a Question. They have little down arrows there so you can collapse them down. I haven't played around with add audio and all this mess down here, not yet. But we're gonna go through these three things actually in the reverse order. So we're gonna do ask students a question first, and then show you the template library, and then we'll start the class. So ask students a question. We're in this section of the add-on. I can take an existing slide that just has a question here. So I created this, just translate this from German to English. To make this an interactive slide, I just go over here to my interface and select what type of interaction I want my students to have. In this case, I want them to give me a text response. I'm just going to click text, and PearDeck will do its thing. It will pop up a little mini window, take a couple seconds, and it'll add on the bottom a little footer that just says students write your response. And the students will be able to see this, students write your response. The interesting thing is when the students are actually viewing this, it will shrink down the slide. It'll still be readable on a tablet, but it'll shrink it down, and on the right hand side it'll put like a little text box for the students to actually type in their response. So boom, there you go. You have a text response slide. Multiple choice slides. So multiple choice slides allow you to come up with your own multiple choice question. Like you can say, who is the best football team in the AACC? Okay, and then come over here to choice. Again, it'll do its little thing. And then it'll, instead of like a pop-up that just disappears, it's going to allow you to put your choices here. We're going to say for option A, Virginia Tech, which is definitely the right answer. But we'll have Duke in here, and we'll have Carolina. And we can even add another one. We can add a whole bunch of these. NC State. We can do this catch-all category. Other. And finally, I'm going to say football. That's that. Because some people just don't care. I click Update Slide when I'm done, and again, when the student is viewing this slide, the slide text will pop up, and then over on the right, there'll actually be a number of different boxes. You can even see at the bottom of the screen the choices that you picked. If you're unhappy with your choices, just come over here and hit Choice again. It'll open up the multiple slide or the multiple choice options that you have, and you can say, hey, let's just get rid of other and update the slide, and it'll take it away. Okay, number response. This is pretty straightforward. Write pi to as many digits as you can remember. Nope, not question mark. And we can have a number response here. In this case, there's no choices to really make. It'll treat it kind of like a text slide, except instead of allowing them to put letters in there, it will force them to only pick digits and numbers. Okay, so, oops, I skipped it. Again, it says at the bottom of the type of slide it is students enter a number. Okay, let's move to the next one. A drawing response. Drawing slides open up a toolbar on the bottom of the student's like iPad or computer, and that drawing bar has a number of choices. It has a color palette, so they can draw using multiple different colors. It has a selector for like changing the thickness of the line or the weight of the line. It also has like a text box, clickable, where you click that and then you click anywhere on the screen and it'll open up like a mini text box. In this case, my sample is draw a picture of a helium atom, include protons, neutrons, electrons in the proper quantities and positions. And I deliberately left a big space over here on the right for them to draw in. So to get a drawing slide, I just click draw. And again, it'll do its thing and say, students, draw anywhere on this slide. Draggable slides. So draggable slides are pretty cool because they allow you to have students manipulate different shapes on the screen as you see fit. So my instructions here say drag the red heart to the verb, drag the orange circle to a noun, and drag the blue triangle to the conjunction. So to get a draggable slide. As soon as we click the draggable button, it's going to give us a choice, right? And I'm going to move this out of the way so I can remember what I said. Red heart is our first choice, so red heart, boom. And I'm going to add another, and I said orange. I can't remember. Orange circle, or orange dot, and I think my third one was a blue triangle. Ooh, I get two choices of blue. Carolina Duke blue or Duke blue. Ugh. Triangle. There we go. Update slide. So, boom. The little instructions at the bottom that Pear Deck adds, it actually tells you the different shapes that you added. So I can just kind of double check and make sure I did put a red heart, an orange circle, a blue triangle. And then finally, there's this thing called the template library. Right? I covered all these. I'm skipping over a website. You can provide a link to an embedded website that pops up here if you want to like show a work of art or a picture or a link to an image. Works great. The template library is it was overwhelming to me at first, but when you click on it, it takes you to another sub menu, and inside this set of menus, it has pre-built slides that may or may not be applicable to their descriptor here, like beginning of lesson, during lesson, end of lesson. I don't necessarily agree with all of them, but I mean they are pre-built slides, and let's add, for instance, beginning of lesson. When you scroll in here, it literally shows you a little preview of the slide, and it tells you what type of slide it is, like a text slide or a drawing slide. And I mean, you can mouse down through all these. I use this one pretty frequently. So here's how it works. Once you find a template slide that you like, all you do is click it, and it'll do its thing. And notice that it inserted the slide. I was on slide 10. It inserted it right after the slide that I was on. And you can say, how well do you understand the metric system? So all that's interactable, and it has selected the shape for you already on the bottom. It says students drag the icon. It's pretty useful. You can do these live too in the middle of a class. You can instantly add a slide to your presentation mid-presentation. You won't have the ability to format it like you do right now, but it's pretty useful. Like, hey, how you guys doing? Do you understand this? There's other kind of useful ones. There's in times of craziness, you can throw a stress check slide in there for your different social learning. And this one will add its pre-formatted picture, and it has already selected a draggable icon. In this case, it's like a pink bar, and all your students will be able to drag along as to how they're doing. You can at least get like kind of a little mini snapshot of their mental state. If we scroll down to, if we hit back here, we can scroll down to different critical thinking slides where you get some cool graphic organizers in here, and some prompts. And then finally at the bottom, there's some example questions and some subject-specific things. So math, I think there's a Cartesian plane in here, like a coordinate axis system. Social studies, you get some cool fact, opinion, cause, effect, what kind of source. English language arts, like obviously I'll like say, hey, here's a periodic table, circle an element that has 10 protons. Okay, that is just your really quick rundown of how to do a Pear Deck and how to add slides to your presentation. I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to get set up so that I can show you what it looks like both from the teacher side of things and the student side of things during a presentation. Okay, so when you're ready to start your Pear Deck, we're going to hit this last section here, this last little button here called Start Lesson. When you click it, you're basically saying, I'm ready to present this to my class. It will prompt you as the instructor. It will prompt you as to whether you want a student-paced activity or an instructor-paced activity. If you're in a live class and you want the students to kind of follow along and answer questions as you go at your pace, you're going to pick instructor-paced activity. But student-paced activity kind of puts the slideshow in asynchronous mode. So if you have a student that just didn't show up, you can leave this Pear Deck in asynchronous mode, and they can go through it on their own at their own time without, they won't get feedback from you as they go, but at least they'll get exposed to the content. So I'm going to pick instructor-paced activity, and the Pear Deck launcher comes up. The loading screen, here it goes. A couple ways you can give your students information on how to join this. You can tell them to go to joinpd.com, and it has a code, BHVHG. So I'm going to try to make my picture big here for a second. Ready? When the students type it in, they get a screen that looks kind of like that, right? Where underneath the pair, they're putting the code in. So, make myself small again. This screen also has a thing that you can click that says give students a link, and when you click it, it copies it to the clipboard, and you can literally have them paste it into a browser, or what I like to do is actually put this in Zoom chat, and they can it'll be added as a link, a clickable link, and they can just click it and go. All right. So on my student on my tablet, I'm going to type this in so you can see some of my responses. BHVHG. Check it out when I type it in. It tells you in the bottom left one student is connected, and then you can go ahead and start your class from here. I'm going to do one other thing though. I'm going to open Teacher Dashboard. This is what I put on my tablet so that I can keep an eye on them on Zoom while they're going ahead and doing the Pear Deck. So the teacher dashboard, the students do not get to see, and I can control this presentation here with here it is. Computer's got with this window right here. So I'm going to close join code, and I'm going to kind of move this over to the side. This is what the students are seeing on this screen, and this is the teacher interface. So let's get going. On my what the students get to see again is what you're seeing. Ready? Using Pear Deck, it is identical to the screen right here. Uh-oh, now I did it. I'm going to have to move this over here so I can keep doing that. Okay, using Pear Deck. I can mouse through the presentation left or right here, or on my teacher dashboard, I can do the same thing. And it will change all screens to whatever you have this set on. So I'm going to go straight to our first slide, our first interactive slide. And it says translate this from German to English. Ready? Again, this window right here shows the teacher interface. I'm going to go ahead and type in on my student laptop, or on my student version of this, where is the, let's just say your student says, where is the tavern? Notice as I'm typing this in live, it's popping up. You can say, hey, Jeff Bostic, no, toiletten does not mean tavern in English. And I can prompt me to go back and, where is I can say toilet or bathroom. Great, and I'm done. If I want the whole entire class to see what this particular student did, I can star it and then show it. And now the whole entire class gets to see what I choose them to see. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. This is, ready? The students are seeing this plus the multiple choice answers that we selected earlier, right? So remember it says, what is the best basketball team in the ACC? Ready? I'm going to select the correct answer. And you can see immediately, as soon as I click it, the teacher dashboard updates. If I want to change my mind, there, it will update it in live. And that's a multiple choice slide. Okay. Remember, this is, let me scroll this down. This was a number response slide where we said write pi to as many digits as you can remember. Oh God. 3.14. And you see our number response slides kind of puts it on a grid. So it's okay, but it depends on the question that you ask. Putting in like all the digits of pi will not really, like I just typed in the next 4 digits of pi. But notice you can put in negative answers. Okay, so here is the negative answer. Where are you, negative sign? There you are, -5. You can see it changes. So you can do decimals, you can do all those wonderful numbers, math teachers. All right, heading to a drawing slide. Our drawing slide gave me a slide and it said, draw a picture of a helium atom, include protons, neutrons, and electrons. My students love this because they got super colorful. So on my iPad, I'm going to put the nucleus first. And how about we do protons in red? And how about we do neutrons in green? And we'll do electrons in blue. And you know what? I'm going to change the thickness of my line to make it small. Oops, I went into line mode. Undo. There's an undo button. Oh, fail. Let's try this. Here we go. All right, I changed it there. And let's make the electrons blue. Oh, I gotta make it big again though. Blue. Oh my God, huge electrons. I'm sorry, science teachers. I know electrons are teeny tiny. And there you go. There's a drawing response slide. And finally, cats are evil and devious are draggable slide. I'm gonna just kind of scroll down so you can remember what we did. We said drag the red heart to the verb, an orange circle to the noun, and a blue triangle to the conjunction. Ready on the student laptop or the student screen. As soon as I touch the shape and drag it around, it starts updating on here. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm going to make a mistake when it comes to the conjunction. Right. So it'll tell you what's going on. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but underneath the slide, there's a little green bar right here, and as long as you have a student that is kind of moving stuff around here, or a student that has not answered yet, it will leave the bar like halfway full if half the students have answered. It just kind of gives you a visual way of seeing who's done what. And then finally, remember our template library where we just kind of inserted slides. How well do you understand the metric system? I've got a little draggable circle, and as soon as I touch it, it appears on the teacher dashboard, and when I let go, it usually updates it. So if I'm like a little bit shady and shaky with this, I'd put it over here. I can put it anywhere in between, over here. It does give you little teacher notes that can sometimes be annoying. Good way to start my classes is the little stress check. Again, it starts with a bar. You can kind of see who's doing what. Now look, this is This is what like a projector in front of the class would show. You notice that the teacher dashboard shows you the answers, but what's being shown to everybody out there is blank. And then finally on my iPad, right, I only get to see one line. So teacher dashboard shows all the responses. Sorry for the glare. Teacher responses shows all the responses right here. A presentation that you'd be like beaming to like through Apple TV would look like this, and then the student would only see their particular answers. As always, you can like show the responses, and whatever's in your teacher dashboard shows up on the classroom projector. All other students can also, when you click that button, all the other student screens update to what you're sharing. All right, that is Pear Deck in a nutshell. Hold on a second. I don't want to leave yet. I want to show you one last feature. We talked about putting it in asynchronous mode. There's this thing called student paste mode. That as soon as you click that on all of the students' screens, they get scroll arrows, just like we have here. This doesn't appear on the students' version. It tells them what slide they're on, but as soon as I click student paste mode, every student can now go through and go to different slides at their own pace. Now here's the cool thing. Again, this is teacher dashboard. Check it out. It tells you where your students are. Right? If you click on the little person icon, it'll tell you who is on those slides. So if you have a class of like 20 kids and 5 of them are on this slide, it'll list all 5 names here. Kind of cool. I tend to leave student paste mode on so that the kids that for whatever reason had technical issues, have a conflict with class, they can still go through and do every single one of these slides so long as they understand the directions. When we're done, you can name it. You can leave and allow students to keep working, or you can just end it all. Yes, I'm sure. Cool little ability. It will email students their own individual answers. So once the students like end their session and everything disappears, they can still have access to the slides along with the answers. So I can end that. And I can give them a link to those takeaways. We're not using Google Classroom, but that's something that it will post in each student's individual Google Classroom. And there you go. There you have it. That is Pear Deck. I hope that you understand it a little bit better, and I will be happy to run a live demo and teach you guys how to manipulate and manage it a little bit better. If you're still unsure, send me some questions. Take care, y'all. Bye.